For about 2 years, I've been running this brand, and I have not seen the success that I imagined, that I dreamed of, and I can confidently say that I have not been really walking in the will of God and doing what He called me to do when I created the brand. Now, I gave my life to Christ back in 2023, and it's been almost 3 years. Well, I think it has been 3 years now since I got saved, but I started the brand in, I would say, June of 2023. And when I started the brand, it was out of like the purest intentions. I was on fire for Christ, and I was just trying to preach the gospel by any means necessary, So I was like, Lord, how can I do that? Because I started making videos, and just talking about the Bible, about what I've been learning and things that I was doing. And then he gave me the idea, like, well, start a brand, or not specifically start a brand, but more so start making clothes that preach my word, you know, to get the message out there. Because my thought was, I know a lot of people may ignore my words, they may ignore what I'm saying, but they can't deny what they see. If they see a t-shirt with the Bible verse, they may stop and ask a question. If they see a hoodie with something that points to Jesus, they may stop and ask a question. And that was the whole point of the brand. That was the whole vision that I had, well, more so that God gave me. And I can say that I kind of strayed away from that as time went on. For those of you who may not know me, if this is your first time seeing my face, hearing my voice, my name is Mike, and I am the owner of Yahweh's Image. We're obviously a Christian clothing brand, and the mission is to preach the gospel through clothing, to remind people who they are based off of whose they are. And I created the brand to not follow culture or trends, but to simply glorify the Father. Now, from the time of me starting the brand, I feel like I kind of placed a boundary of what I wanted to do. And, I kind of limited myself. And it truly isn't the thing that God showed me when I started it. So I kind of took it and made it my own thing. And I kind of moved God out of the equation. Now, the mission is still the same. The purpose of the brand is still the same, to preach the gospel. But when I started the brand, I just was creating things. I've always been a very creative person. I've always been somebody that just loved the creative process. I like learning new things. I learned how to press t-shirts. I learned how to use a Cricut. And, I just learned so much more about the clothing brand space as time went on. It just kind of came naturally to me. And I'm still not the best. I'm still learning things each and every day. I'm still learning how to design better, how to create better clothing and everything like that. But I think my problem was that I made it harder on myself than it had to be. And I stopped doing the main thing. I wasn't keeping the main thing, if that makes sense. So God said to create the brand, to just preach the gospel, to get the message out there. When I heard that, I was like, okay, cool. And naturally, I started watching videos on how to start a brand, how to press t-shirts, how to do this, how to do that. And I started seeing what everybody else was doing for their brand. I started seeing, like, with the streetwear brands, the luxury brands, the people who just created t-shirts as a side hustle. I started seeing what they were doing, and I kind of tried to emulate that. And there's nothing wrong with, learning something from somebody and implementing it into your skill set. But my problem was that I tried to do too much of what they were doing. I wasn't necessarily copying their style or anything like that, but I can say, like, I tried to be like them. And I think I tried to grow it too fast. See, most of us, when we have an idea from God, we take it and we run with it and do our own thing. We think it's our idea, but we forget that it's still God's idea. He's just using us as the vessel to get that idea out into the world. And when I got the brand idea, when I got the clothing idea, whatever you want to call it, I instantly saw dollar signs. That was my first mistake. I went into monetization mode. I was like, okay, how can I make money doing this? And I took the whole purpose out of it. As I said, the purpose is still there, but I had to I had to do a reality check, and the Lord really had to sit me down and convict me, correct me, and was like, hey, like, you're not doing what I was telling you to do. And one of the main things about a brand is people say you should only have like one to maybe three products on your site, that people can recognize, which is very true, which is, I feel like, is a very vital thing. And again, I wanted to do that, but I have so many ideas in my head that it's hard for me to do that. Then I had to sit with the Lord, like, well, Lord, is that what you want me to do? Is that the thing that I should be doing? It's not putting so much out there into the world, but He told me to preach the gospel. He told me to give my gift, my creative gift, out to the world, to do the thing that glorifies Him. But I was listening to the advice of the others, which I'm not saying is bad advice, but it wasn't God's advice. I was doing things to monetize what God had gave me before achieving my true purpose. And it's not to say that the money would not have come, and it's not to say that it still can't come, but it's saying I took what God gave me and I used it for my own benefit. I used it for my own purpose, my own reason. And that's where I messed up. This brand was made to be a reflection of Jesus. It was made to help people understand that we are all made in the image of God. When you put on this shirt, like, you're wearing a reflection of Him, if that makes sense. It's meant to be a reflection of my creativity, and my sole purpose is, like, as I said, I keep saying it, but because I feel so strongly about it, it's to preach the gospel, but also to just represent Jesus in every aspect of life. Because when I started the brand, I didn't see a lot of brands that were out there, representing Jesus. Now you see a whole plethora of brands. Like, there are so many Christian brands, but I never wanted this brand to become something that was just trendy. I didn't want it to become something where it's like I'm running it and I'm doing it big for 5 to 10 years, and then next thing you know, you hear nothing about it. Like, no, I truly have a vision for this brand that it can be something so much greater, something so much bigger than I think what I can imagine and what anybody else sees it as. And I can fully say, like, transparently, that the way I'm doing things, the way I'm growing, it's not doing it. Like, it's really not doing it for me, and it truly has not been in the will of God. So I'm just making this video to share with you guys and be open. And like I said, you probably don't know me. This is probably your first video. I haven't made many videos on this page, but I'm going to start producing more content. And that's another thing that I've kind of been reluctant to do, because I'm like, man, nobody is going to care about the brand. Nobody's going to care about the process. Nobody's going to care about the journey. Nobody's probably even going to care about what I'm doing, like any designs that I have. Nobody's going to care. And the Lord was just like, stop doing it for the validation. Stop doing it for the numbers. Stop doing it for the money. Stop doing it for these things, because these things are so finite, And if God gives you the idea, then it's going to prosper. Only thing that I have to do is continue to trust Him, to walk in obedience, to have faith that things are going to work out. Do what He says to do. And He will continue to show me favor. He will continue to open doors. He will continue to take me places that I couldn't even dream of being. So if you're watching this video, welcome to Yahweh's Image. Welcome to the family. And just be ready, because I have so much in store for the brand. Like, I have so much coming that I want to drop, that I'm going to drop. I've been reluctant to a lot of things, to dropping certain pieces and just putting stuff out there. But I'm about to just let it all out. And if you're rocking with it, you rocking with it. If not, you're not. It's still all love. But yeah, it's time. It's time to really just take it to where God showed me it could be, and to truly just walk in His will and do what He put me here to do what He called me to do. So, welcome. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. Before you go though, I do want to show y'all these pants that I had made. I don't know if y'all can see the full thing. I'm gonna try to get a. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Follow us on our Instagram page, TikTok, Facebook. All those good things. I'll leave them down in the description below. Comment. If you visited the site, tell us which pieces you like the most, and just I want to interact with people more. That's another thing that I've also been kind of reluctant to do as well. Because again, I just had this fear, this anxiety of like, well, what if people don't like it? What if it don't work out? Like, I don't care. If you don't like it, let me know. If you like it, let me know. Like, just let me know. I want to interact with you guys. I want to actually be more open and honest and just really like, yeah, I want to build a community because I truly believe that something special is about to take place. But yeah, also just be on the lookout for what we got coming out. I just dropped 2 new pieces on the site yesterday. So if you want to go check that out, I'll leave the website link down in the description below. But I'm glad you're here for the journey, and I'm excited to see where this goes. But I love y'all. Jesus loves you more, and let's get it.